kind of just hit me with that reality that, wait a minute, I'm not guaranteed to die of a happy old age at 95, 90. I don't actually know how much time I have in this life. And it made me reassess if I was on the right path.
Woo! Welcome, one, welcome all to your space for everything empowerment. I am your host, Tariq Williams. You're the listener. I'm the host. We're going to get right into it. And this is the Speak Your Vision podcast. And remember, what we do here is we talk about what it looks like to own your path, be you. And if you want to learn about what might not be letting you own your path, check out the quiz, Owning Your Path. We'll leave that in the link below. But we have a special guest with us today. And so this guest is a powerhouse. She's full of energy. She is a creative, and she is also the owner of My Business Blitz. Welcome, Christine Schick. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for having me. And thanks for that introduction. I appreciate it.
Listen, we are so happy to have you. Website extraordinaire. So real quick for the listeners, if you're looking for some merch, you could go out to my website, wearevisionofhope.com. You could check out my merch. You could check out, the entire website of all the different things, everything wearevisionofhope.com. But the cool thing about wearevisionofhope.com is that the designer of wearevisionofhope.com is My Business Blitz, Christina Schick.
Thank you so much. It's
And
looking great. I'm so glad you got it live. It looks great.
super excited about it and super excited to have you on the podcast today and what it looks like once again to own your own business, be a founder of it, be an innovator, and what it looks like to empower others to really bring those dreams into reality. And Christine, you did that for me. So I just want to thank you before we get into this.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. Thanks for choosing me to help bring that to life. That was quite an honor. So thank you.
I appreciate you. So language is really important here on the podcast. And so when you hear your brand's name, when you hear My Business Blitz, what's one word that comes into your mind?
That is a very challenging question because I am not a woman of few words. I always have a lot to say, but I thought about it and I think the word that comes to mind is fulfilled.
Mm,
And what I mean by fulfilled is my business blitz means that other business owners are fulfilling their dreams instead of sitting on the sidelines and hoping it happens one day or stopping because they lack knowledge in a certain area or because they're scared. They're fulfilling those dreams. And watching other businesses succeed is incredibly fulfilling to me. And also, running a business of my own is a dream of mine. And so that's fulfilling.
yeah.
And my ultimate goal, I'm not there yet, but my long-term goal is I want to succeed as a business owner because I want to be able to donate finances to causes that are important to nonprofits that are making the world better. And eventually, hopefully, even in the near future, even I would love to be able to donate even a percentage of my time to nonprofits. That will be the most fulfilling thing that my business blitz can, I think, offer myself and the world. So
Wow.
fulfilled.
Wow, that's amazing. And I think it speaks a lot to the fact that you're trying to make sure that you're at a place and making sure that you're doing okay so that you could help others feel empowered and feel fulfilled. You mentioned the word fulfilled and fulfillment a few times there. Why is fulfillment so important to you?
I think for me, it's just aligned with my values to give back to the world, give back to the community, build something beautiful because,
Mm,
you can't take money with you.
mm,
And you can maybe leave it behind and hope that the person that you leave it to does something good with it. But if you create a legacy of investing in people and respecting people, caring for people, I just think that's something that can transcend your own time here on earth and leave the world better than when you found it. So, I mean, I guess everyone has their values. That's just something that's really important to me.
Christine, you're making me reflect a little bit when you say that. And I know we're pivoting quite a bit, but you make me think. So after I became blind and I started recognizing what was possible for me, um, it was interesting because I started meeting mentors and people who were there for me in different moments where other people were
Mm,
not there for me. And there was this one individual, and I said to him, his name was Jim Antonacci, and he was a part of being an individual who was there advocating for me in the state of Pennsylvania to be able to go back to Louisiana to be able to get the training that I needed. And I saw him a few years later, and I said, I just want to thank you, Mr. Antonacci, Jim. You were so grateful for me. Excuse me, you were so grateful. I'm so grateful to you. I'm so grateful to you. And I just want you to know that. Is there any way that I can repay you? And his
mm,
response was really interesting. He said, Tariq, absolutely not. If you can do anything for me, it's this. Whatever mentorship or whatever it is that I gave to you, you make sure that you give to the next person.
absolutely.
Yeah. And that seems to be what my business blitz is all about.
Absolutely. Everything I learn, it's like I want to share it now. Okay, I learned this next step. This is a something that I was struggling with, and I figured out how to overcome it, whether it's digital marketing or a website or copywriting. And it's like now I want to share that. I want to offer that to the next person. I don't want anyone else to get hung up. And that's where I say all the time, if I could do it for free, I would. That is my goal, that I would just be so successful that I can do this stuff for free, consult for free. It would just be so fulfilling to me to be able to get there. But in the meantime, I do think I will get into it, but just one of my biggest values as a business owner is to be as affordable as I possibly can in
Mm,
sharing
mhm.
everything and just paying it forward because yeah, that whole concept of being blessed to be a blessing, that's I want to pay it forward.
I have thoughts on that. Hopefully we get back to hopefully I remember the affordability piece. I think that's interesting. I want to get to that later. My business blitz, Christine, what is my business blitz? What type of business is it? Because I'm thinking about it, like, oh, like I'm about to build my business. It's gonna grow. It's gonna be a force. Tell me about it. What is my business blitz?
Yeah, my business blitz is just years of marketing condensed into this little programs that are affordable. So one of the biggest things I have is website in a week. I design websites, but I noticed that a lot of expensive creative agencies were charging, you know, five to $20,000 for small, simple sites. Um, and I just thought small businesses are so important. Let's find a way that's affordable. One of my programs uses a lot of templates, and that just makes it quick and allows us to do it quickly. And when you're just starting out, it's also cheap. So it's like, or not even cheap, but affordable. So let's get you going with your idea and then let's build it on a platform that can grow with your business. A lot of starter sites that are affordable, you're going to outgrow if your business grows and then you're going to have to pay all over again and all that time you spent now has to be spent again or you got to pay someone to build a site that can grow with it. So I do WordPress sites that can grow with you as long as your business goes, you're going to be able to grow. So websites are the heartbeat of it, but we're also offering digital services like SEO, Google Ads, Facebook ads, anything that you need to grow your business. But the the heart and soul is let's get your business off the ground. Let's build you a website that can grow with you.
Christine, I didn't know that you also did Google ads and Facebook ads either. Let's take this conversation offline. Uh, but anyway,
Yeah.
but anyone who's wanting to build a business and what it looks like to really take that ownership of it. I know that when I saw the website template that you created for me, and I was like, wow, like this looks amazing, and I can't wait to bring it to life and have people be able to check it out. So once again, we are visionofhope.com. But nonetheless, as we
Yes.
move forward here in our conversation, Christine, what made you like, what was the driving force? What made you start to build this business to begin with?
Oh my gosh. Well, of course, I'm sure it's the same way for any business owner or any entrepreneur. There's not one thing, it's many things that lead up to you starting a business and taking that leap of faith. But I would say it started with my childhood. My grandpa was an entrepreneur and he ran a business that he started. And then my dad always taught me you always want to work for yourself. You don't want to get stuck working for somebody else. And so that was just kind of ingrained in me my whole life. And even though I did work for other people, it was always kind of in the back of my mind, like, this isn't the end goal. This isn't really, I don't want to be that career person that climbs the ladders for someone else. I want to start my own thing. So it was always there. But um, what really helped me jump into it was working, oh gosh, at least 10 years as a marketing director
Mm,
and seeing these creative agencies that honestly didn't really care about small businesses and they would charge a fortune for services that I learned how to do in a couple weeks, sometimes even a couple days for what they
wow.
were charging. And I just thought, well, why are we like, I mean, it's great. Good for them. They're making their money and they sleep well at night. But I wanted to offer something for the small business owners that would never be able to afford a $25,000 website. I wanted something that was affordable. Yeah. That's a lot.
$24,000. Woo.
So I just kept seeing things that were like really high ticket items. But then the more I grew in the knowledge of how it worked, the more I realized they're charging a lot per hour because this is actually not, once you know the system, once you crack the code and you know how to do it efficiently, it's not that, it shouldn't be that expensive. And I think for those agencies, good for them, hit up giant corporations that can pay that ticket and it's not a big deal. Like make your money, good for you. But for
Right.
me, I love small businesses and I also know that they can't afford that.
Yeah.
So that was really weighing heavy on me. And then I realized that I had a few side hustles while I was working a 9 to 5, but I realized that I could help a lot more businesses and like good people, not just businesses. When I say small businesses, I'm thinking like there are people with dreams that are really genuinely good people. They want to treat their future employees well. They want to leave a legacy for their family. And I wanted to help those people.
Yeah.
So that's where my business blitz came from, where I realized, okay, I want to really get into that and start helping small businesses succeed. And I don't really care to help the giant corporations anymore. Someone else can do it. And
But
like it just sucked on my soul, you know?
so Christine, I think that sounds great. And I love the message behind all this, right? Being able to help empower small business to go out there for their dreams.
Right.
But being a small business owner can be difficult, and or being a business owner in general can be difficult, right?
Yes.
So if you come across as someone comes to you and they're going to tell you, I want to make this website for my business, but I don't know if it's going to work out. I'm willing to try, but my business has already failed. What are some things that are going through your mind when you talk to somebody like that who's saying like, I don't know if I can, I don't know if I'm worth investing in. I don't know if it makes sense to start another website. My business has already failed. Does it even make any sense to try? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I would say it's an individual basis where you have to decide if it's worth it to you. And I also tell people if I'm like real scrappy and real cheap. And so I will tell people every tool I have for getting things done as cheaply as possible because I understand that even hiring me to do your website for you may be out of your budget. If you have a failing business and you've been going at it for a while, I'm not going to tell you to invest in me because you should probably prove that your concept is going to work before you throw more
Mm,
money at something. And
mm,
so I
mm.
would I
Whew.
wouldn't just
I
say
don't know if people are
you're
ready to hear that. That's the real right there. Like you might need
I
to be.
that
Whew. Yeah.
honest to a fault. So honest to a fault. I know I'm supposed to tell you you're worth investing in, and you absolutely are, but there's also a business aspect, and not every business that you come up with is going to be profitable.
Mm,
And there's no way to know for sure, but if you have an idea and you have the money, let's work together. Let's build your website. If you have an idea, you've been working on it and it is not succeeding, we will have an honest conversation about, is it because your website and your funnel is not working, or is it because there is no need for what you're offering, or people don't actually want to pay for what you have to offer? And I will always work with you if you want to work with me. But if someone tells me that they are going to go into debt to work with me, I will encourage them not to. I will honestly encourage them to wait till they have it saved up, or wait till they can have a sale or two lined up, because I want you to succeed. I don't want to just fill my pocket and then I have to sleep at night knowing, oh, I just paid my rent with money that you don't have. And like
mm,
you're in debt now. And I
mm,
can't sleep with that. So um
mm.
so that what I would say to someone who says that they have a failing business is, let's figure out why it's failing. If I personally can help you, I will. I will point you in the direction of mentors that maybe can help you. There's a really great resource called score.org. It's SCORE.org. It's free business mentorship. You can find people that do what you want to do, that have already succeeded, and they will meet with you through Zoom. They can meet in person even. They have so many webinars and resources. You could spend your entire life going through that website. So if I don't personally have the ability to help you, I will, try to point you in the direction of someone that can help you.
Yeah.
But I, if there's tweaks that we can make that I can see this being successful, I will give you that roadmap of what I think that looks like, and then we'll work on it together.
So roadmap. Let's talk a little bit about that word roadmap there for a moment. Because, and I don't know if we want to get into this or not, but my business Blitz isn't the first business that you've ever had. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So, what has it been like for you to grow, pivot, and learn more from your I would say situations? Like because you've taken the time, like I think the really unique thing about you, Christine, is that you've taken a business, you've learned from your struggles, and then found a way to build something even better and be able to help a lot of different clients. So, what has it been like to learn from your past experiences from a previous business to this one?
That's a great question. And in fact, that is why I'm a little bit more apprehensive than saying, oh, just build it, just put it on credit and I'll help you build a website and let's go. It'll work. Because I know from first experience, it actually might fail, and you should never invest something that you cannot afford to lose. At least my personal opinion, especially if you have kids or responsibilities. I I believe in getting the client or the customer or the sale first and then investing, but don't invest finances that you can't afford to lose. And the reason for that is because I have my first attempt at owning my own business it was not successful. It was not niche down. So it was
Mm.
every service that I could possibly think of that I knew about to every single person on earth, whether you needed a website for a business or a nonprofit or an idea you had that morning or like anything. And it was not just websites. I was offering, I don't even remember anymore, but all types of writing services. And even I've ghostwritten some books because That's my
Wow.
background also is writing. So I was offering that all on the same page, all on the same web page. It's like just anything you could dream up. And then I had a business partner who also had a lot of creative skills, and we're like, let's just throw it all together. So it was event management, wedding coordination. It was
Wow.
everything at
Okay.
once.
Wow.
And that doesn't really connect with people. We had some really cool clients and we did some amazing things, but as far as making that business successful, our roadmap was, it's not just a fork in the road. This was like every pathway, and we didn't know which one to take. And
How were you able to
go
do
ahead.
all that and still have like did you still have your 9 to 5 in that process? How are you able to
No,
balance? Okay.
no, not no. So I had quit my 9 to 5 to start this business, and it was basically I kind of refer to it now. It was all things to all people, which essentially it means nothing.
Means
So
nothing to everyone.
means yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Sorry,
So
sorry, sorry. But that's what they say, right? If you don't know, you
right.
got I mean, it sounds like you took that opportunity though to learn more about you because I remember meeting you in a an online course that I was taking to get ready for my different launches for my business. And I remember saying, wow, like website development, that's exactly what I need, you know?
100%.
And it was like, even though it maybe, I don't know if it still felt vague to you or not, I'm not sure, but it sounded like exactly what I needed. But if you're everything for
Yes.
everyone, you could end up also being nothing to everyone too. So I think the
Hmm.
importance of niching down can't go understated. Because think about it. If your niche is for, let's say, not everyone, but for, let's say, if you're a business owner listening, and you want to create a business for women who want to become business owners, uh, who are over 40 and up, right? You got to think that is at least like that's several million people in this world now. So even though it might sound niche down, it's
Narrow.
narrow. There you go. It's pretty wide.
Right. And that helps the woman over 40 know you are who's going to help me get to where I need to be
Hmm.
versus the alternative. If it were my example, it would be, hi, if you want to start a business and or if you already have a business, we can help you with applying, creating the website, making a podcast, making a YouTube channel, running your
Yeah.
social media. I mean, you just start listing all the things, and suddenly I don't know what you can actually help me with. I can't even remember. And
Yeah.
so no customer is going to realize that you're going to help them. So I will say in my past, we did some really cool projects and we helped a variety of people. But as far as a long-term business plan, I think we had 6 months without a new client because it
Wow.
was just too bizarre,
Okay.
too wide. So definitely narrowing down means opening up your possibilities.
So I know this isn't exactly, we're going to get to the website development piece here again in a little bit, but if someone who wants to aspire to create a business is listening to this right now and they want to create a business plan, where do you think they start?
I have a, I would say start with a competitive analysis of writing down everything you think you want your business to be and seeing what your competitors are doing. I actually have a Google Doc now that I could send. It's
Yeah.
so cool. But you just put some of your competitors and yourself, and then you write down what are they doing well? What do they need to improve on? And then you go down each section. It's going to be their social media, what their website looks like, what their sales page looks like, the way that they get clients, the way that they talk to their customers. I mean, it's just so detailed. But
Mhm.
anyway, do a competitive analysis with maybe two or three competitors that are doing something either the same or similar. And then in your section, You're going to grade how you currently stand up to to the competition, but also you're going to write strategies for how you're going to be better. And I think that is a really good starting point. The other thing that I tell people to do now is figure out how you're going to be profitable because that's part of running a business. I think I had such a big heart at first that I didn't really
Yeah.
worry about the profit. I just assumed it would come. And I
Yeah.
have since learned that monthly recurring revenue is one of the best ways that you can continue to make money and to feel like you have a paycheck again. You can
Yeah.
count on these people coming back. So I would say there's all kinds of worksheets online, but just find out how you're going to be profitable and how you're going to find those clients. And if you're not a numbers person like me and you hate spreadsheets, just make it colorful and add little photos. My Excel sheets or my Google, what are they, Google Sheets now?
Uh-huh.
I have all different colors and fonts that helps me want to look at them. But I do have to look at the numbers
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
figure out what do I need. And then also, one more thing, one thing I wish I would have done is don't quit your job until your business is making you money, or don't, or at least cut it to part-time or take some sort of part-time work so you have some kind of consistent income while you build your business. Because if you take that leap before you have anything in place, it's so incredibly difficult and you might fail when you had a good idea.
You're reading my mind. You are reading my mind because that's exactly where I wanted to go to next. I'm not gonna say that you said something a lot earlier that I'm gonna jump back to and then come back to what you just said. I'm not gonna say that we vehemently disagree with each other.
Okay.
But you said something earlier about possibly going into some debt to be able to build your business. I think there's a smart way to do that. And I don't know exactly what that
Yes.
looks like for you listening here on the podcast. I think there's a smart way to do that. But I think when I think about putting yourself into some debt to build your business or whatever that might look like for you, I'm a big believer in betting on myself.
Okay.
Um,
That's good.
and what it looks like to bet on me, right? Because I think that we all have those moments in our lives where we just feel like, like I know who I am better than anybody else, and I'm going to be successful. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I know that's going to happen, right? I think a lot about that when I think about my blindness, for example, because I
Mm.
knew no other blind people. I had never done anything blindness. It just kind of came out of nowhere when I turned 16. But and it was a struggle at first, and it continued to be even first, second, and third. But as eventually I was like, you know what, there has to be a way because I'm still me. Like this isn't taking away my personality. Like I can find a way to bet on me. If it's in school, if it's
Yes.
money, if it's energy, it's etc. I got to find a way to bet on myself. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'm going to be successful. I bring that up to say, going back to what you were just saying, um, about the 9 to 5 thing, right? And possibly waiting to leave your 9 to 5 and what that might look like. Because it seems like you just kind of bet on yourself and took that leap a little bit. Am I correct on that?
I did. I did.
So,
I had one lead and I was like, good enough. I'm out of here.
so, so let me ask you, what made you say, all right, one lead, I'm out of here? What made you take that jump to leave your 9 to 5? And then on top of that, why do you think most people leave their 9 to 5 jobs?
Oh gosh. I'm trying to think of, I don't know if I can speak for most
Well,
people
for,
because
for
everyone's
you
so
first.
unique. But okay, for me, I I've had multiple like 9 to 5 jobs and I at first found the marketing director so fulfilling and I enjoyed it. I had a great team that I was managing, and it was full of creative people that were so skilled and talented. I felt like the sky was our limit. And then a couple things launched me out of that into full-time entrepreneurship. And the first thing was a close family friend passed away
Mm,
just maybe 10 years before he retired. And it was very sudden, very unexpected. And so, as hard as that was, it also made me, it kind of just hit me with that reality that, wait a minute, I'm not guaranteed to die of a happy old age at 95, 90. I I don't actually know how much time I have in this life, and it made me reassess if I was on the right path. And I didn't feel that the job I had and the company I was helping at the time, I didn't feel like giving it was leaving the legacy that I wanted it to. It not only wasn't leaving the legacy that I wanted to at work, but it wasn't allowing me even in my free time. It was like, I was bringing work home and stuff, and it wasn't giving me in my free time to leave the life that I wanted to. So I really was kind of faced with that. Like, is this life, am I living it the way that I would want to if it were
wow.
to be cut short?
We're getting back to that
And
fulfillment
so,
piece,
yeah,
feeling
it's
unfulfilled.
important to me.
Mm.
It's a
Yeah.
value of mine. Not everyone has it, and everyone's got their values. You got to live by them, but that's one for me. And it was really, that was probably the catalyst. And then the nail in the coffin or emerging moment was the management at the company I was working at changed. And I'll just leave it at, by the time I was done with that place, I promised myself I would do everything I could to never have to work for another person again in my life.
Wow.
I wanted to just be my own boss and run things the way that I knew they could be done, treat people the way they deserve to be treated in a good way. And so
Yeah.
those two things combined really fueled me.
Let's break those down a little bit, Christine. You suffered a loss and
Mhm.
change. Let's go back to the loss for a moment with that family friend that passed. You mentioned the concrete things, like that really made you think about, you not being promised to get to that high, that old age and everything. What were some of the
Or even
feelings you were
retirement.
feeling in that moment?
Mm. I think obviously grief and devastated. It was actually my best friend's dad. And so I think I still have like nightmares sometimes about hearing her wail and just the pain that that caused. So obviously there was a lot of pain and grief from that. But then I think, and I don't want to speak for someone else, but I felt like he was gone way too soon. I felt like he didn't even get to retirement. He was working so hard and he was such an incredible man, but he didn't even get to retire and not have to work so hard. He missed out on that. And I felt like he was robbed. And so part of what I felt was fear. Like, am I going to get robbed? If I just keep grinding like this and building my career, am I going to get robbed and either get injured or get sick or have my life pass away? And I didn't do the things that were important to me. I didn't accomplish something that was actually meaningful. So I wanted to make sure that I was living, yeah, I think fear. Like I'm so scared that my life could be cut short at any time and I didn't get to accomplish what I wanted to or do something meaningful. I would just a marketing director for some company. I didn't I didn't change
Yeah.
the world. I didn't change a life.
We'll go to the change piece in a second, but I have to comment on that. Um, January 1st, I lost my sister. And
So sorry.
it's interesting to hear what you're saying because I definitely, empathize with a lot of the feelings that you were just saying. And I know a lot of the listeners do as well. Maybe there's a lot of different reasons why we might feel devastated, feel fear, feel
Mhm.
scared. And I don't believe that those there's always going to be something in our lives, not necessarily ranking, but that these moments of devastation happen. And I think it's important to recognize, confront them and then understand what it means for you to move forward. And I know that it's difficult. I know that it's tough and you're doing the hard thing. You're doing it scared and all what all those things look like for you. But I like how you took, a trauma, a difficulty, and you said, this is what this means. I'm not promised tomorrow. So I'm going to be the best me and create something special and be able to give fulfillment onto others. And I love that, Christine. So I want to thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. Oh gosh, thank you. I do want to clarify that I think that it's absolutely possible to work any 9 to 5,
Mhm.
possibly even a mundane one, and still have a really rich and meaningful life.
Oh, yeah.
And um and I think I just knew that I wasn't, and I didn't feel fulfilled in my job. And also it was becoming so stressful and so um just heavy that I was bringing it home. And so in my off time, I wasn't doing anything meaningful either. I was thinking about work, talking about work to process it, talking to my therapist about it. It just was all consuming. And so for me, that's why it was the right choice. But I absolutely think that there are other ways to have meaningful lives, even if your job is the most boring, mundane thing that you could ever dream of.
Yeah.
You never know who you're changing in your office by just smiling. And I'm sure when you're off, you're also bringing a lot of meaning. So I just want to
Mhm.
make that clarifying
Yeah, a hundred
connection that
percent. Yeah,
it's for my journey, not for everyone.
I love that. I love that. The We Are Vision of Hope brand is mindset, health, authenticity. You got to be your authentic self. If you're loving what you're doing right now, that's fantastic. Um, and if you want to do something else, love that too. Authentically, be unapologetically, authentically yourself. Absolutely. So yeah,
I love
completely agree
that.
with that, Christine. When it comes to the change piece, all the different changes going on in your life, when you think of the word change, what's some of the things that pop into your mind as you've continued to evolve your business and evolve the person that you are?
Well, I heard the other day, if you're not innovating, you're dying.
Mm.
So that is something that I've been
Let me
that's
let me
at the
let me
forefront of my
ruminate
mind
on
right
that
now.
one.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Keep going. I'm thinking about how I feel about that.
And
But
basically, we, especially in the business world, you have to change, you have to innovate.
sure. Okay.
You can keep your values the same, but
Okay.
you have to keep up with the trends of the world, or the needs of your customers. So when it comes to changing, I obviously had a lot of fear to change paths. And I did kind of feel like I cheated on myself because I applied to another job and I interviewed. And even though I had said I was never going to, and I did it anyway just because I was scared and I wanted some stability. But it was another full-time job doing something similar. And I knew it wasn't ultimately what I wanted to do. And so I'm really grateful that that opportunity passed because it was not for me. But yeah, change is something that's very scary for me anyway. And yet I feel crucial to grow and to possibly even survive. Like you have to adapt and pivot. And in my whole journey, I was going one way, and we've talked about how I had to change the business structure. So
Yeah.
it's very crucial.
When I think about the changes, when I think about change, and if it's me individually, my work, my business, all those different things, I, I several podcast episodes ago, I talked about if happiness is a choice,
Oh, I
and
remember that one.
and I think ultimately it is, but it's more so you got to be committed to your happiness. You got to be doing the things that make you happy. And if whatever your work is, or whatever life is bring into your life where you can't do the things that make you happy, then I think your mental health is going to struggle a bit. Um,
Hmm.
so we're going to get back to the website piece here in just a moment. I like how we talked about, a bit about the origins of my business blitz, where it came from, how we got here, and now we're in this really cool mindset place of the episode. Um, but when you think about happiness, and being committed to your happiness, what does that mean to you? What does that mean for your business?
Ooh, that is so good. Well, I've been working really hard at creating more of like a work-life balance, even in business ownership,
Hmm.
and forcing myself because I get carried away. I love what I do, and so I get carried away and I'll sometimes work on it for 12 hours and forget to eat and I'm just consumed. But then that doesn't lead to happiness in the long run because I am now starving and moody. So I think happiness to me is, like you said, kind of like a discipline of taking inventory of the things that bring me joy and make me feel like my life has meaning and carving time for those like they are just as important as a client deadline or, anything pressing. So I have to put them in my to-do list. I will put some of those life-giving things in my to-do list right next to the things I need to do for my business because it's like, this is important.
You
This
know,
break, taking a break is important.
as a working professional, as a business owner, I'll be real with y'all. Um, if I don't get to karaoke at least a few times a month, my happiness is going to be low.
Oh my gosh, we need to karaoke. That sounds so fun. It
Um,
honestly, yes, if you're not karaokeing, if you can't carry a tune and it's like does not bring you joy, then fine. But if there's any part of you that enjoys singing, please add karaoke to your monthly to-do list because it brings you joy and it brings the people around you joy. Just a little plug.
and so if it's karaoke, so you're a singer, Christine?
Yes.
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
We've talked about it briefly, but yeah.
Nice. So that's one of your hobbies. That's something that you do as well. What has been your do you sing a lot or
Yes.
what's that like?
Yeah, in fact, that's singing is a huge part of my life. It
Mm.
obviously in varying degrees as far as how much time I have available to do it, but singing is what I'm doing like private events and I don't know, like
Oh
malls and
wow,
stuff.
cool.
That has been a way that I had some consistent income coming while I built up my business Blitz.
Oh
It was
wow.
sort of my stable thing. And I love it. One of my favorite things to do is to sing at senior homes. It's just the best. And that was another thing when I was working my 9 to 5, I was having to kind of like finagle my days off and my PTO to take an afternoon off to make it to my seniors. And so
Wow.
one of my favorite things about being my own boss is that I don't have to ask for time off. I can still take that long afternoon and go see my seniors.
Yeah. You just gotta ask yourself, hey self, I'm taking time off. All right, self.
Yeah. And sometimes that means, I mean, sometimes there's work that needs to get done. And so sometimes
Sure.
that means I work early mornings and late nights to kind of make up for it. But I feel so fulfilled those days because I did what my heart longs to do, which, yeah, singing is a part of those things. Spending time with my dogs, even. I hated how much time I was missing from my dog when she was really sick at the end of her life. And so, that was hard when you're going to work every day and you're leaving her. She needed me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
things like that really it just brings me so much more joy and peace to be working for myself now. I can work from mostly from home, but from a coffee shop if I need to bribe myself to do work I don't want to.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's neat that you still make time. And if it's, it could be karaoke, it could be singing, it could be the gym,
Yes.
it could be playing a sport, making sure that as a business owner or 9 to 5, whatever that might look like for you, committed to your happiness and what that might look like, make sure you're making
Yeah,
time for those things. I think that's
absolutely.
probably even one of the main reasons why people end up in entrepreneurship or business owners. I talked about this on a few episodes ago with business owner, esthetician, Cara Danubio
Oh
Drake.
yeah.
She talked about her one word being freedom, and that's what her business has given her. Um,
Hmm.
Going back to the happiness thing real quickly. Your favorite karaoke song, go. What's your favorite song?
My go-to has been Rolling in the Deep by
Oh.
Adele.
Oh my gosh. Look, we need I don't know how many seconds we have unless we get copyrighted, but let me get a smooth like the hook, 15 seconds.
Okay. We could have had it all rolling in the deep. Is that good? Are we gonna
Woo!
get copyright strike?
Oh man.
But I
Wow.
really want to do Pink Pony Club next by Chappell Roan. That's my
Okay.
my go-to. It's a new song, so I'm not sure if it's in everyone's system, but that is going to be the first karaoke bar that has that one. I'm going to be doing Pink Pony Club.
All right. Sounds good. That's awesome. For me, I like I'm not gonna sing today, but uh
Oh,
my,
come
but
on.
Temptations. I like my
Ooh.
girl. I'll even go It's Tricky, Run DMC. I'll rap a little bit. Trey Songz, for some reason, Just Gotta Make It is in my mind by Trey Songz right now. Um Shawty, all I got is $1 and a dream is you gonna roll. That's all you get for free. But
That's
but
amazing. I'm
but
so glad you did that.
it's hard to go after such a great singer like yourself. But you know, we've talked about a lot of different things here on this episode. As we go through the origins of your business, being able to give fulfillment, because that's really what the story is here, right? If you're just now tuning back in, if you're multitasking while you're listening to the podcast, ultimately what we're talking about here is fulfillment. If it's starting your own business, if it's struggling in your business, but then finding a way to pivot and continue making it your own, if it's being committed to your happiness, what we're talking about is being fulfilled. If it's in your own business or if it's in your 9 to 5, it doesn't
Right.
necessarily matter as long as you're being authentic to yourself.
Absolutely.
So, my business blitz, once again, being authentically yourself, Christine, and what it looks like to give fulfillment onto others. What is it, when we talk about website development, website design, um, why, if someone's trying to find someone to work with in terms of website creation, design, etc., why would someone want to work with my business blitz?
Well, I think one of the biggest things that we offer is just, I mean, I genuinely care about people and I care about your business because I know it offers freedom. I know it offers fulfillment. So I would love for you to join me at my business blitz if you're thinking about working with any kind of web developer or if you are pulling out your hair with the DIY. I got you. It doesn't have to be that difficult. And let's make something that will grow with you. But I think one of the biggest things I'd love for you to know is that you deserve to have a website that wows and delights your customers
Yeah.
and that converts them into paying clients without having to pay an arm and a leg for it.
Mm.
And if you go to our site, you'll see that we have something called Website in a Week, which is a 4-page, fully branded website with marketing copy, which is text, photos, your
Wow.
um, SEO structure design so that it ranks, or at least it's set up to rank properly. It's not going to be a jumbled mess for Google when they're searching to find out what your website is about.
Yeah.
And we do that all within 1 week. We use some templates, but we shift them to make them totally look like your brand. And that's how we're able to make it quick, affordable. And we also have a offer that's more custom and complex if you need something like that. But we always make it affordable. In fact, I was almost kicking myself the other day because I charged for a pretty complex site. It was like a fifth of what I knew other people charge for that. But I just
Mm-hmm.
found a way that we can do it. And I want to be honest. I want them to succeed. And I think I'm still paying myself fairly for the time I will spend on it. I'm still paying the team fairly. So it's like, why fill my pocket with everything else? I'd rather just go help the next entrepreneur and let them succeed too. So I would do it for free if I could. I love it. And if you want to work with an agency that actually cares about you and the impact that your business journey makes on you, your team, and you personally, then I would just come to us. You're worth that.
You know, the cool thing about talking to you, Christine, is that it's refreshing. You know, when someone is telling you something and you're hearing them and you can get excited about it and it sounds cool and they say things like that, I wish I could do it for free and some different things like that. But the reason why it's refreshing, I think, when I hear it from you is because I could tell that you mean it.
Mm,
Um, I think that when it comes to business owners and when it comes to continue to be an adult and work and do your thing, I think sometimes people have, let's call it what it is. People have been hurt before, right? People have been
mm,
scammed. People have been taken advantage of, right? And I think that it's refreshing to talk to someone that not only is that not a thing, but it's just completely not an option. Like the idea of it doesn't even exist. And that's the energy you're giving off. And I appreciate you for
mm.
that.
Thank you. Well, we click. You're the same way, and I I appreciate that. I feel so blessed because the people who are all about like money is all that matters and whatever, they can't stand me. They
Yeah.
can't, they don't catch the vision. They don't want to work with me because they're like,
Yeah.
I don't think she's going to be like professional enough for me. And
Mm,
I'm just like, we're very professional. I love what we do. I stand by our work, but I also care about the person more than the profit at the end of the day because the profit's not coming with me at the end of my life, but the
mm.
connection and the impact that I make or even your business makes, that's going to last. So, yeah, that's what I care about.
How do people find you? Where can they go? We'll drop the links down below, but how do people find you?
Okay. Okay. You can check out all of our services at www.mybusinessblitz.com. And I didn't tell you this, but I really believe in what you're doing, Tariq. And I know that your listeners are the real deal and you're all making a wonderful impact on the world. So I'd love to offer the first three listeners that reach out about website in a week to mention in the form that you are here from We Are Vision of Hope or from Tariq. And the first three listeners will get 50% off your website. So check that out at mybusinessblitz.com. Make sure when you click launch my site and you fill out the form, put that when it says, how did you hear about us? Say Tariq or We Are Vision of Hope, and we'll cut your price in half.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's that's so exciting. Wow. All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, listen, we'll
You're
definitely
so welcome.
appreciate that. That's super exciting.
These are the
Wow.
people that I want to work with. You guys, anyone tuning into this podcast, you are going to have the same vision, the same heart.
Mm.
So let's work together.
We're gonna finish off with one word. Changing up the question a little bit here though. What's one word that defines the vision of my business blitz?
The vision. Okay. Let's go with impact. I want I want to impact other business owners to see their dream realized. Um, when I make a site for you or my team helps make a site for you, you're going to influence the world in a positive way with your dream. I believe that you have a business idea for a reason and that you have a solution for people that they need what you have. So you're making an impact too. So anytime you support my business, it's a mutual thing where we're impacting the world together. And yeah, when your business succeeds, you're going to change the world.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And that's what we're going to do here. We're changing the world here, one podcast at a time, one website at a time. We're making it happen, everyone. Christine, thank you so much for joining us. We'll make sure we leave the information down below to get a hold of you. 50% off to the first three listeners that check out my business blitz to get that website in a week. It's a fantastic service. Listen, if you want to see some of the work that she's done and the team, go to wearevisionofhope.com as well. You can check out my website as well. But Christine, once again, thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure hearing your story and everything. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, and I love what you're doing.
Once again, not only I am Vision of Hope, but we are Vision of Hope. This is the Speak Your Vision podcast. Let's get it.